Don't you hate wrestling with predictability? The garbage man, the sexy boy, boring ass TV? How did I get to work in here? Somebody tell me, please. The WWF is confusing to me. With Vince as mean as you've ever seen. I told old Patterson I'm done here in June. When a sudden voice inside me whispered, Vinny, don't sell your dream so soon. And everywhere I look, there's a Ted with a hand to hold on to. And everywhere I look, there's a place and a promotion who needs you. And it's there you'll book when you're lost out there and you're all alone. And WCW's waiting to carry you home. It's there you'll book. And it's there I'll book. A doobity-ba-ba-ba, headed to Atlanta and listen to this podcast. It's all right, even though it fucking makes fun of everything I've ever done. Backbone Wrestling Network. Welcome back to episode 50 of Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? I'm Scott Sheffley. Joining me as always is the backbone, Logan Crossland. Logan, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I can't believe we made it to 50 episodes of this motherfucker without either ending ourselves or somebody doing an intervention to get us to quit it. But we are here. I feel like I've been saying we're almost to the Great American Bash for like at least 4 months. At this point, I feel like every pod I plug this show, I'm like, oh, we're almost to the Great American Bash. Well, motherfucker, we're finally here. And all now right. Now after this, I get to say we're almost to the Bash at the Beach, and it'll get here in about 6 months. So,
yes. So I just looked at my notes. Episode 39 was Slamboree 2000. We recorded that, Logan, December 29th of last year.
No. God. So it really has been 6 months.
Yeah, I know we've had like we missed some stuff here and there, but we've been like pretty consistent, and that's just how long it's been. Like episode 39, and it's just going to continue at this pace, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not doubling up on episodes because at the end of the day, I do care about me and Logan's mental health. And I think that might be like our 13th reason why. So yeah, it's because a lot happens in Lee shows as you guys have listened.
I don't think I could handle 2 of these. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, because spoiler alert, when we're done with these podcasts, I need to like mentally recalibrate after like doing like a big episode or something. Like I'll literally just like sit on my couch and like read, which is pretty much normal, or just like sit in my office, which Logan's the only one live here, but like I'll just sit in here and just like mentally like recalibrate before I go back out and talk to my wife. Like there's no way I could do multiple episodes of like Vince Russo 2000 wrestling. I think that would break me.
Yeah, it would break most normal people. And as you pointed out on the last Highway to the Impact Zone, I've not only done 50 of these at this point, But I've almost done 150 of Highway to the Impact Zone, which is also somewhat Russo influence for most of those episodes that we've done. So I am a glutton for punishment, apparently.
Yeah, almost 200 episodes of this. But thank you guys for listening, for sticking with us. It's been a fun ride because, as we discussed, Logan, this was the last WCW pay-per-view that my family ordered for me. My parents, spoiler, when we get to the Sting and Vampiro match, looked at me after the match and said, "We're not ordering this shit for you anymore." With how god awful that match was, which, as everyone knows, I'm a big Sting fan, and that match is god awful. It's just horrific. An insult to your intelligence, that match. So, which is saying something for 2000 Vince Russo, like, in WCW. Like, I think that match might be the biggest insult to the intelligence. So, yeah, but thank you all. Let's kick it off, Logan. Episode 50, the Great American Bash in Baltimore, Maryland, which is ironic because the Great American Bash for Sting won the title was in Baltimore. So they loved running Baltimore. You know, that was always a Crockett town with the NWA and with JCP. So we're here in the dying days of WCW. It's not quite dying yet, but I mean, ECW is closer to dying than WCW. Check that out on Extreme Three-Way Dance at NoSo. But we're here at Great American Bash 2000. We start off with we see the return of Goldberg and how he beats Tank's ass on Nitro, and then how Goldberg and Nash have been helping each other out. And then we see cops outside in front of the building waiting for Goldberg because they're going to arrest him if he shows up, because he was arrested at the end of Thunder, as we discussed on episode 49, and they told he was let out pretty much immediately in Knoxville. We get a welcome video, which is showing all the matches. And then Tony welcomes us in, like I said, from Baltimore, and we get straight to the action. Misfits in action music hits. It's when Tony says that Goldberg was released from jail Thursday morning. General Rection gets on the mic and says Misfits fall in, and they get in position. General Rection says Lieutenant Loco, his mission tonight is to beat Disco Inferno. And then in a crazy scene, Logan, Lieutenant Loco pulls out a grenade and says he has something for you, and if the filthy animals mess with this match, he will kill them. And I guess multiple people at ringside, as he has a fucking grenade, Logan. So that's where we're at now. The filthy animals come out next. Disco's wearing a knockoff Kobe jersey. So match one is
looking like Mark Jindrak on our last roulette.
Oh yes, he was the Mr. Basketball or whatever the hell his name was. But yes, so match one, Disco versus Lieutenant Loco for the Cruiserweight title. Loco had just won the Cruiserweight title on Thunder, but he might lose it now because Logan said he's probably going to lose it soon. That's what he told me when we recorded last. So the match starts off. Disco slaps Lieutenant Loco, and Loco pushes Disco and sends him to the ropes and hits him with the clothesline. Disco reverses an Irish whip, but Loco hits a cross-body block and then starts punching Disco. Loco sends Disco to the ropes, but Disco holds onto the ropes, and Loco then ducks a clothesline from Disco. Loco charges Disco, but Disco catches him and drops him throat first on the ropes. Disco taunts Misfits Nanton as he's stomping Loco. Loco is able to get up and he gets a head scissors on Disco and sends him outside to the Misfits in action. Misfits beat down Disco and send him back into the ring. Loco gets a slam and then just gets a 2 count. Loco slams Disco and chops him. Loco hits a back suplex that gets 2. Loco sends Disco into the ropes, but Disco kicks Loco and then charges him. But Disco bails to the outside of the ring. Loco dives on the filthy animals and Disco. Loco rolls Disco back in the ring, and Loco goes to get back in the ring, but Hoovy grabs his legs, and Disco's able to get advantage and get some kicks in. He knocks Loco back outside, and the filthy animals beat him down. The MIA then come over to save Loco. Loco's back in the ring, and Disco slams him. Disco goes to the middle rope, hits a double axe handle, gets a 2 count. Out comes the old guy again that we had seen on Thunder. Disco hits an atomic drop and then a clothesline that gets 2. The old guy we discover he is called Pops, and he is General Rection's granddad. They could have just said he was his dad. But Pops starts hitting on Tigress, and the filthy animals come and shove him away. And Pops takes a bump off of that, and he hits the ground. They make a bunch of old jokes. While this is happening, Hoovy comes in the ring and hits the Hoovy driver on Lieutenant Loco. Then he missed the people's elbow. He misses the people elbow. The ref was distracted up through all this, of course, but I doubt they would call it disqualification. Loco throws Hoovy out of the ring, but he turns around and Disco hits the chart topper, which is the Stone Cold Stunner on Loco. But Corporal Cajun slides in the ring and hits a side Russian leg sweep, and he puts Loco on Disco and right in front of the ref. But who cares?
Yeah,
Lieutenant
I pointed that out as well.
Yeah, Lieutenant Loco wins. And we'll stop right here. Logan's already need to take a water break, and it's only match 1 to 10. But I was expecting so much more from this feud between these two teams, and we really haven't gotten it. If I'm being completely honest, I guess this shows that all the talent's really just on one side, and it's the filthy animal side.
Yeah, and I mean, they should have done a big tag here or something like that. We didn't need. I mean, this is just that to have a championship match for having a championship match's sake. It seems like so. Yeah, like you said before the match, or like I said before the match, Disco looks like Jindrak on our most recent roulette. He's wearing the rapist Kobe jersey, not the good Kobe that will be to come. So he had that number 8 on. You pointed out the thing with the ref. I know Slick didn't see the attack that happened before that, but just watching Cajun throw Loco on top of Disco seemed wrong. Seems like that should even just be a DQ just for doing that. I don't know why, but it seemed weird that he just kind of let that go and didn't really even react. It's one of those that's not really a bad match. It was well worked for the most part, but it didn't get a ton of time, and it was more focused on kind of like the outside chaos more than it was the in-ring action. So they didn't really even focus on Loco or Disco all that much. It was more about what was happening on the outside with the animals and the rest of the MIA. And obviously they get involved throughout the match, but yeah, I mean, it's just if you're going to do what you did with all of the people around the ring, just make it an 8-man tag or whatever you want to do, 10-man tag, how many people there are out there. But this would have benefited from being like a chaotic big tag instead of just a one-on-one match that had a bunch of interference.
Yeah, because they even got they brought Tigress in so she could be the one that fights off with Major Guns, which I don't think either of them can wrestle, but here we are. I agree with the tag match thing. You have it lined up perfectly. So every person has a person. So after the match, both sides brawl. Filthy Animals leave the MIA. Major Guns is unsure what to do with Pops. And she's about to give him mouth to mouth. Mark Souza says pick an end either way, it'll revive him, which fucking popped me. Also, it would wake me up too. Major Guns rips off her top. Lynn gives mouth to mouth to Pops. He may be dead, but he wakes up on round 3 of this and sees what's happening and tries to stick his tongue down her throat. And he's pulled off of her, and other MIA people are laughing. And then we cut to the cops talking to Eric and the cat and says all exits are covered, says everything is under control. Eric says no one will ruin his surprise for Kevin Nash. So I said, oh, so now it's a surprise for Kevin Nash. We're dropping down how big this is, but it's nope, this is it's now a big surprise for Kevin Nash, Logan. Hyped as the biggest thing in sports entertainment, and now it's just a surprise for Kevin Nash.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it later, but it almost gets bailed on at some point. You hyped it up too much. I mean, I know what they're trying to do. They're just trying to drive people about the pay-per-views and all that kind of stuff. But, we'll talk about what the spreads, or what I assume is the spreads, and all that, and how much of kind of wet fart it was. But, just unnecessary kind of hyping for something that's not really that out of the left field or anything like that.
Yeah, like it's like that. It's just like, okay, like what the fuck, man. But like looking back, Logan, and it's so heavy-handed. I remember being as a kid shocked, but like I was also 11 years old. But like, look at this. It's so fucking heavy-handed, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh my god. But anyway, we'll get to that shortly. But then we go to Mean Gene. He's with the Mama Lukes who had just returned. The Mama Lukes are yelling at Mean Gene, which I don't like because they used to be friends. They went to the titty bar together in '99.
Yeah, that was great. I remember
Yeah.
that.
And they say they have beaten up Stugatz bigger than Chronic. And Vito says he's the hardcore champion and not Johnny the Bull, and they just walk away. So this leads us to match 2, which is the Mama Lukes versus Chronic in a number 1 contender tag match. Mama Lukes attack Chronic as soon as the match starts, but Chronic's able to clear the ring quickly because they are like Hulk Hogan in the fucking 80s, apparently. Vito is keeping the hardcore title on himself. Brian Clark and Johnny the Bull start off. Clark kicks Johnny and throws him into the corner and beats on him. Just multiple chops and kicks. Johnny fights off and gets some punches. Clark dodges a punch and hits a choke slam. Clark gets a shoulder block, and Johnny rolls out of the ring. But Clark follows him and beats him around the ring. Johnny throws him back in the ring, and Johnny dodges a punch and hits a spin kick. We get a tag to Vito, and they hit a double axe handle and both start kicking him. Vito beats Clark in the corner with forearms. Clark blocks a punch and throws Vito into another corner and beats on him. Vito tags to Johnny, and Clark reverses an Irish whip and hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. We get a tag to Brian Adams, and Adams kicks Johnny and takes him down with just one punch. He then hits a full Nelson slam, which is pretty disgusting. Vito breaks up the pin. We get a tag to Clark, and he throws Johnny into the turnbuckle and hits a running power slam. Vito breaks up the pin. We get a tag to Adams, and he sends Johnny into the ropes. Johnny dodges a punch and hits a clothesline. Johnny tries for a superplex, but Brian hits him with kidney shots, then hits a gorilla press slam. Vito breaks up this pin as well. Johnny throws Adams into the ropes, and Vito kicks him in his back. Johnny hits a nice DDT, and we get a tag to Vito. Vito kicks Adams, and then he hits Adams in the guts and slams him down by his hair. Vito chops Adams in the corner and hits a splash. Vito tried again, but he missed the dive, and we get a tag to Clark, and they hit a double back body drop on Vito. Tag back to Adams already. Adams hits his F5, and Logan, it looked like it fucking killed poor Vito. Like he landed right on his head
for sure. Yeah,
I was like, God damn.
It was like an F5, but it also was a DDT somehow.
Yeah.
So it was pretty sick for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he didn't know how to take the move or what, but I was like, shit. But this just gets a 2 count. Adams then puts Vito into the ropes, but Vito ducks a clothesline and hits a mafia kick. Vito tags out, and he goes to get his belt, which had fallen off. And while this is happening, Johnny hits a nice power slam on Clark. Johnny tried to springboard into the top rope, but slipped, and you can actually hear the fans laughing at him in the crowd. I felt bad for him. He got up, but then he tried like a coffin drop on Clark, but Clark just moved out of the way. Vito's at ringside for some reason. I guess supposed to be cleaning off his belt, but it's like they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" So I don't know what he's doing. Chronic just double teams Johnny. They hit a double shoulder block, then they hit the high times. Vito's now just polishing his belt. Chronic hits high times, and it's over. Typical Vince Russo, Logan. I kind of like this wasn't a bag tag match. It was like 2.25, but like he's speed running this breakup with the Mama Lukes. Like it wouldn't shock me if they break up Monday. Like, because about the fucking title. Like, but like he can't let anything just stay still. Like he's speed running this shit. And, Chronic looks like fucking world beaters. So we'll see what happens when they have to face the main event. But it's like we're breaking up the Mama Lukes who just returned last Monday.
Yeah, he doesn't have much patience in his booking style for sure. So not surprised at all that he's kind of forcing this to be a breakup, like you said, right after they just came back. So I love Vito not taking the title off during the match. Like he wrestles a good few minutes before it gets knocked off. I thought that was hilarious. I also pointed out the F5 or the twisting, spinning nasty DDT where he almost killed him. What are you going to call it? But yeah, High Times gets hit on the bull while Vito's just polishing the belt or doing whatever he's doing at ringside. So, like you said, it's another pretty solid match. Maybe like a 2.5, but I do like both teams. So I may be a little biased in saying something like that, but yeah, I mean, it could have been more at the same time, but um, you know, with what we have ahead of us, I think it was one of the stronger matches on the card for sure.
Yeah.
Before you go move on to, I don't know if you made mention of this, but we got a Hulk Hogan inflatable raft ad before this match. So I just wanted to point that out. So
yes, that was something. That was something. But it was funny. It's like, you'll get it by September. I'm like, brother, Hulk Hogan's not going to be here by September. I really want to talk to see if anyone got those things. But yeah, it was it looked pretty cool. I would never want it, but it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because it's like, well, he's not long for this world, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we go backstage, and Pamela's fine ass is with DDP. Pamela asks about the match, and DDP says, "What are you calling Awesome? A career killer?" And he says, "Wrong, bimbo," and says he's done with that super bitch, his ex-wife, and left. Made no sense to me, but that's what DDP said. Everyone's mean to Pamela tonight, who is looking amazing. But
yeah, she gets bullied pretty hard on the show. She also says ambulance instead of ambulance at one point. So
she does say that.
I laughed so hard when she said that. I was like, "What? What just happened?"
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, just ridiculous. So match 3 is how does she say it, Logan?
Ambulance
Match between Mike Awesome and DDP. Awesome's out first. I'm actually shocked that there's no hype video for this because it's a pretty big feud, even though it's kind of buried as the match 3 of the card. DDP is out next, and he wheels out Canyon. I have a note here that says Canyon looks like Simple Jack. DDP slides in the ring, and they just start fighting. The ref gets decked when DDP clotheslines Awesome. DDP then closes Awesome out of the ring. Awesome sends DDP into the guardrail and knocks him into the crowd. Awesome tried to get in the crowd, but DDP hit Awesome. Awesome picks up a chair and slides it in. They both have a chair, and they have a duel with the chair, but then DDP punches Awesome's chair into Awesome's face. DDP sends Awesome into the turnbuckle, but Awesome then climbs the ropes when he does that and hits a back elbow, which was pretty dope. Awesome hits DDP with a back body drop. Awesome hits a splash. Awesome drags DDP's head across the ropes. Awesome hits DDP with a clothesline. Awesome then drops DDP throat first on the ropes. Awesome screams table, and he pulls out a table. When this happened, DDP tried a baseball slide, but Awesome ducked it and pulled him out of the ring. And also, Awesome powerbombed DDP through the table. He tells the EMTs to put Awesome on the gurney, which, Logan, I forgot that WCW's rules were for these matches were they have to be wheeled to a certain point. And I was like, these rules are so fucking stupid.
And the wrestlers don't even have to do it themselves, the paramedics do it.
Yeah. So I said he tells the EMTs to put all he tells the EMTs to put DDP on the gurney. They start doing it, and they're taking with the aisle, but DDP rolls off the gurney. Awesome hits DDP with the chair. Awesome throws DDP back in the ring, and he hits DDP with the chair again. Awesome runs at DDP and hits him in the face with the chair, just I don't even know how to do it. He just ran at him, hit the motherfucker in the face with the chair. Awesome then hits a splash from the top rope. Awesome goes to the other top rope and hits another splash. This is just ass whooping on DDP's part right now. He then sandwiches DDP with chairs and goes up top for another splash, but DDP, of course, moves, and Awesome hits the bottom chair, which I don't know if he was supposed to hit that bottom chair because it looked like that hurt. Both men are down right now. Out comes Kimberly with a pipe. She hits DDP with the pipe, but then Miss Hancock comes down and attacks Kimberly and drags her backstage. Awesome is up and slams DDP into the turnbuckle. Awesome goes up top and Awesome goes up top and pulls up DDP, but DDP hits Awesome in the nuts and hits a diamond cutter while Awesome was sitting on the top rope. Was pretty dope. I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
DDP pushes Awesome out of the ring and tells the EMTs to get the hell over here. EMTs are carrying Awesome out. New Blood's music hits, and Eric comes out and he's about to hit Canyon with the chair. DDP attacks Eric, but then Canyon gets up and attacks DDP. Canyon hits DDP with a diamond cutter. Canyon rips off his shirt to show it's a New Blood shirt. Canyon pulls Awesome off the gurney and puts DDP on the gurney. Awesome pushes DDP to the ambulance and throws it in the ambulance. Awesome wins. I said this was a good match until the end. We see Awesome celebrate, and him and Canyon actually have words with each other, which I thought was pretty interesting. But Logan, what did you think of this match? I think this is my match of the night, honestly. But DDP's fucked over for the third month in a row. He had his wife turn on him. He had his supposed best friend turn on him, and now he had his other best friend turn on him.
Yeah. What we're starting to learn is DDP shouldn't trust basically anyone.
It might be a DDP problem.
Which I think he's kind of like under the Steve Austin way of thinking of DTA, don't trust anyone. I think he kind of has made that part of his character at certain points, but he sure seems to trust a lot of people, despite having that kind of way about him. But yeah, I thought this match was strong. Like if Canyon is gonna be New Blood, I feel like he should have been like really strongly pushed as one of the better parts of the New Blood from the beginning, instead of just now joining when I won't say I don't know that the New Blood group is over at this point. I assume for the most part they're pretty much done with this storyline, because after tonight, at least, with the way some of these matches go. But I just feel like Canyon's a strong wrestler. I feel like he's a pretty good talker for the most part at the same time. So I feel like he should have been a higher priority in the New Blood instead of going out injured, being gone for forever. Maybe he was really hurt at that point. I mean, obviously he didn't really have the injury that he was out with, but maybe he was also hurt with something else. But who knows? But I just feel like if Canyon was going to be part of the New Blood at any point, he should have been New Blood from the beginning and been a strong part of it. But yeah, the match was good. Awesome. Absolutely dominates early. I was very surprised by that. He really kicks DDP's ass for the most part in the early parts of the match. He hits the Awesome Bomb through the table, which was great. I said Kim comes. Go ahead. Sorry.
He dominates him so much, Logan, that I thought Awesome was going to lose, and I knew what happened in this match.
Well, it wouldn't have been surprising if he lost and somehow still DDP got turned on. That would have been very, very Russo. But I said Kim comes out and lays the pipe to DDP, and I said not in the good way. So I really love the diamond cutter from the top. I thought that was a really sick transition. But yeah, Bischoff, like you said, comes out and tries to attack Canyon, and DDP saves Canyon, only for Canyon to turn on him and cost him the match. But yeah, what I really came out of this with is Awesome's really good in the ring. And Canyon should have probably been in like the Vampiro spot or the Kidman spot, or pretty much anybody in the New Blood should have been replaced by Canyon from the very beginning, because I don't think Canyon could have gotten much better out of Hogan, and he probably would have gotten squashed even more, and I would feel bad for him like I feel bad for Kidman. But yeah, I just think Canyon could have been used better in this whole thing. But
or just have Canyon turn on DDP at Slamboree.
Yeah, I mean he lost the title anyway, so
yeah, and you don't have him thrown off the cage. You just do that, and then you have them feud here, and gets Canyon over. Awesome can be, because he was sort of Kidman's heavy for a little bit, and you just have Awesome and like Kidman in a 1-on-2 match where the odds are stacked against Hogan. So there you go.
And you also could have had him like face Flair instead of David, because David sucks, so
yeah, exactly. So yeah, but like this is spoiler alert, guys. That's my match of the night. If we were doing that, yeah, because that's where we're at. But the announce team talked about what just happened. Tony asked if this was the game plan since Slamboree when Austin talked to Canyon in the hospital. I like to believe since it was Austin talked to Canyon in the hospital that one time. G.I. Bro comes down like he's Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. What was it 12? Yep, 12.
Oh yeah, he's zipline down. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only way I can describe it. Next up is G.I. Bro versus Sean Stasiak in a boot camp match. These guys have barely had like any interactions with each other because like Sean Stasiak's been with Chronic and he won the tag titles since this match was announced, and G.I. Bro's been leading MIA. So that's where we're at. Stasiak comes out in fatigues and face paint. Sean says, G.I. Bro, take a good look at what a real, or should I say a perfect soldier of fortune, and says he's going to take the war to him. G.I. Bro meets Sean in the aisle. Tony says it's a boot camp match, and the first man who can't get up at 10 loses, so basically a last man standing match. Sean beats G.I. Bro around the ring. G.I. reverses an Irish whip and sends him to the steps and throws him into the ring. Sean attacks G.I. Bro when he gets in the ring. Sean slams G.I. Bro and sends him to the ropes, but G.I. Bro dodges a clothesline and hits his forearm. He slams Sean and then clotheslines Sean out of the ring. G.I. Bro hits an axe handle from the ring apron. G.I. Bro slams Sean into the guardrail and throws him into the front row. G.I. Bro follows him into the ground, but Sean hits him. Sean beats down G.I. Bro and tried to slam G.I. Bro into the guardrail. But G.I. Bro reversed it and did a I don't know what that word is because my notes, I guess, auto-corrected something. I don't know what he did. He just whooped his ass, I guess, and then threw him in the ring apron. And then G.I. Bro just kills Sean with a chair shot. G.I. Bro hits a horrible top rope clothesline and somehow gets up at the 8 count. I think Sean was out of position for that because he was really far away. G.I. Bro gets 8 punches in the corner, and Sean gets a horrible atomic drop. Then tries to drop G.I. Bro face first on the turnbuckle, but I think his chin barely touches the turnbuckle. Sean just looked real bad in this match, real amateurish. Sean chokes G.I. Bro and then punches him. Sean hits a back elbow and tells the ref to start counting. G.I. Bro is up at 8, and Sean starts attacking him. Sean sends G.I. Bro into the corner, but eats a big boot. G.I. Bro hits a spin kick. This gets him a 7 count. Sean throws G.I. Bro out of the ring and beats him in the aisleway. Sean hits a suplex on the ring ramp, and G.I. Bro is up at 8. Sean hits an axe handle and drags G.I. Bro ringside again. Sean throws G.I. Bro into the ring and hits a top rope clothesline of his own and says counting. The crowd is completely dead at this point for the match. G.I. Bro is up at 9, and Sean attacks G.I. Bro again. G.I. Bro reverses a suplex attempt and hits one of his own, but Sean was up first and hits the clothesline. G.I. is up at 8. Sean attacks G.I. Bro again and throws him outside. Sean throws G.I. Bro in the front rope. I don't understand how we have 2 front row fights in this match. Here we fucking are, though. Sean punches G.I. Bro in the front row and throws him back ringside. Sean hits G.I. Bro with the chair, and the ref starts counting. G.I. Bro is up at 9, and Sean attacks him and rolls him in the ring. Sean hits a gut-wrench powerbomb, and both men are down. Sean is up at 5, and G.I. Bro is up at 9. Sean puts G.I. Bro and me in a sleeper hold. Ref did the hand for some reason, and G.I. Bro is up at 3. I don't know why they did a fucking hand. It's a goddamn sleeper hold. Just have this motherfucker be at 10. G.I. Bro fights out, hits the angle slam on Sean. Sean ducks a clothesline and hits a back elbow. G.I. reverses an Irish whip and hits a Harlem sidekick and then hits the bookend. Sean is stirring, and G.I. Bro is on the top rope and fucking annihilates Sean Stasiak with a missile dropkick. This should have been the fucking ending, Logan. Is him just destroying him with this fucking missile dropkick, but for some reason it's not because it's Vince Russo. We have someone run in. That someone is Chuck Palumbo, and runs down. He tries to attack G.I. Bro with the Lex Flexor, but G.I. Bro dodges the attack and hits the axe kick. Sean picks up the Flexor and hits G.I. Bro in the nuts. G.I. Bro is up at 9, but Chuck and Sean beat down G.I. Bro. My note here says, where the fuck is MIA? G.I. Bro takes out both with the clothesline. G.I. Bro hits a spinner Rudy, hits side kicks on both men. G.I. Bro hits Chuck with the Lex Flexor and then hits Sean with the Lex Flexor, and G.I. Bro wins. I legit thought Sean was going to win when Chuck Palumbo came in. My note even says, thank God. when G.I. Bro wins, Logan. This match, last 3 minutes, when he hits the missile dropkick, and that's pretty fun with that because like the crowd seemed to care again, but the match should have ended with the missile dropkick. This was so long. Should have taken a couple minutes off of this and put it on to Awesome and DDP. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, match was way too long. Stasiak is boring as all hell. It's unbelievable that he got as many chances as he did because he really does suck. I mean, he's not as sucky as like David Flair or anything like that, but he's just so boring. Brings nothing to the table. He has no personality. It's just bad. But
Logan, Mike Awesome and DDP went 9 minutes 41 seconds. G.I. Bro and Sean Stasiak 13 minutes 58 seconds.
Yeah, that's terribly.
Besides the main events, the second longest match of the card. That's what we're at.
That's so
what are
bad.
we doing?
But yeah, Booker did his best with what he was given. He does do a weak ass chair shot at one point. It was pretty bad early in the match. But I said the only other note I really made because it was mostly pretty boring. Because Stasiak I felt like controlled a lot of the match, but not that Stasiak and Palumbo are like the most credible tag team champs in the world. Because they kind of won it on a fluke and have continued to retain it through flukes. But yeah, like I said, they're not the most credible team to begin with, but letting G.I. Bro kind of beat them down on his own for a little bit throughout this is kind of insane. Kind of puts them down pretty badly. So, you kind of squash your tag team champs here. But yeah, this match was at least 4 or 5 minutes too long. Definitely should have been a little bit shorter, which, I feel like we may complain about matches not getting enough time a lot of the time, but maybe not this one.
Yeah, thank God. God, just
and it's stunning. It's stunning to think this is what Booker's doing this month and where he ends up at the end of the next pay-per-view.
His name isn't even fucking Booker T right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what the fuck?
It's just like that's got to be the biggest glow up in like a month, maybe in history, other than maybe JBL.
Yeah, like what the hell, right?
Mm-hmm. But even JBL loses the first attempt at the WWE Championship, so I mean, he really doesn't. This has got to be maybe like one of the quickest glow ups in maybe wrestling history.
Yeah, we have to study it. I can't think of any more right now. But JBL's a good one because he literally was just a blonde member of fucking APA at one point.
Yeah, I don't remember what Jinder was doing before he won the title, but that
nothing
could be in contention.
He won that number one contender match out of nowhere, which pissed me off. And then he beat Orton, which pissed me off. And then he held the title up until they realized he's not going to face Brock at fucking Survivor Series. Beat Shinsuke. God damn it. You're just fucking making me angry right now, Logan.
That's the new pod, the gender pod.
Don't hinder gender.
Don't hinder the gender pod.
Yeah. God. No. I think Sean will fire me off that. So yeah, so we go to the back and we see Canyon in the back cleaning up his shit, and Mean Gene comes in and says, why? Canyon says in the hospital, no one came to see him, which is a lie because we saw DDP there multiple times. No one came to see him more than Eric Bischoff did, and so the only way to become a star was to take out DDP. Mean Gene says we have footage, and we see DDP getting out of the ambulance, and he is walking away, and we see the Goldberg monster truck in the background. Mean Gene says DDP is out of the ambulance. Canyon says he's positive that he took out DDP, then says he's positively Canyon. Amazing. I love positively Canyon. So we see we don't see them anymore tonight, Logan. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, next episode on Nitro. Mm-hmm. So Shane Douglas comes out with the mic and says, cut the damn music. Shane says, first off, you be more pieces of shit. You need to sit down and pay attention to the only star of WCW. Says they put a wall in front of the franchise and he's going to take it out tonight. Shane says Baltimore will see not one but two great careers come to an end. Shane says New Blood will be getting rid of Hulk Hogan and Dic Flair. And Shane guarantees that he will chop down the wall. He will chop the wall down to size. Shane says he has a plan and challenges Wall to a best of 5 table match. And it's going to get real confusing, guys, because I say
we've
best.
done this before, right? Am I making that up? Haven't we done like a best of 5 table match before? I want to say it was even Wall and Douglas before.
Maybe.
I want to say Douglas has done this gimmick before. Or maybe I'm insane.
I mean,
both Logan, could be true.
Grooney, you tell me what episode. I know you're fucking listening. When this comes out in a couple days and I forget about it, you tell me if this ever happened. So
you could tell me that both of these wrestlers have had this exact match before with this exact promo, and I would believe you because I'm almost positive it's happened before.
I think you're right, but what makes me laugh, guys, is that they don't know if the announcers start tripping over themselves and say it's a best of 9 and you have to put your opponent through 5 tables. So through the whole time, I'm thinking it's a best of 5, like a best of 9 where you got to put the person through 5 tables. And I'm like, all right, let's fucking rock and roll. Because Tony even says the winner is the first person to put the other through 5 tables. So this leads us to match 5, which is Shane Douglas versus The Wall in a best of 9 table match. Wall gets in the ring and Shane starts punching him. Wall punches Shane back and hits a big boot. Wall gorilla press slams Shane. Wall trash talks Shane and says, "You screwed me big time." Yeah, Shane really screwed himself. He was a tag champs and just fucked himself over. Anyway, I'm not trying to add fucking logic to this, but Wall picks up Shane and kicks him. Wall rocks Shane with body shots and Shane reverses an Irish whip. Then hits a neck breaker. But Wall pops up immediately and hits Shane with the clothesline. Wall throws Shane in the corner, starts beating him. And then he starts choking Shane as well. Shane hits Wall with a running knee. Shane picks up Wall, but Wall is able to get out of it and chokes him again. Shane rakes his eye and hits a front suplex, then hits a rolling reverse neck breaker. Shane clotheslines Wall out of the ring, then baseball slides him. Shane beats Wall around the ring. Shane eye rakes Wall and throws him into the guardrail. Shane tried to suplex Wall through the table that was outside the ring, but Wall reversed it and chokeslammed Shane through the table. So it's Wall 1, Shane 0. Wall picks up Shane and throws him into the guardrail. Shane fights back versus the Wall and tries to throw him into the ring post, but Wall blocks it. And he then suplexes Shane through another table. So it's Wall 2, Shane 0. Scott Hudson then says, "We're all fucking dumbasses. It's best of 5 and not best of 9, so Wall just needs one more." Wall pushes the ref out of the ring and throws Shane in the ring. Wall kicks Shane, and then Shane kicks Wall in the nuts twice. Shane gets out of the ring and tells Wall to follow him like a moron. He then walks to the aisleway, and right beside the aisleway, we see a ladder and a bunch of tables set up. Wall drops Shane throat first on a guardrail. Wall starts walking up the ladder, starts working on the ladder. Shane slams Wall into the ladder. Shane starts climbing the ladder. Wall's climbing the ladder behind him on the other side. Shane punches Wall, and Wall's about to chokeslam Shane off the ladder, but Shane fights out. Shane punches Wall and then punches him 3 more times. And Wall takes a bump off the ladder, and he goes through 3 tables. And we see that Shane Douglas had brass knucks. Mark Souza once again says it was a hat trick. Shane celebrates, but Wall's able to get up pretty quickly, and he chokeslams the ref through the table. Fucking dumb. Just a dumb ending. Not even the worst. This is dumb match. Why did the Wall do anything? Just stay at ringside. Then he climbs the ladder of his own volition, Logan. Just dumb. And Shane pulls out brass nuts. Why didn't you have him the whole time? Beat this dude's ass. Just dumb. Makes no fucking sense. It's frustrating me all over again.
Yeah, unfortunately for us, being fans of the Wall, he is not the smartest motherfucker in the world. So, but yeah, we start this whole thing, like you said, with the stupid changing of the stipulation and making it even more confusing. It's a ridiculous match concept. I don't even think the work in it was particularly that bad, but yeah, the wall does look incredibly stupid throughout. So, not the best booked match, I would say. It's really absurd though, the stipulation and just the fact that nobody knows what the fuck's going on. I did think the bump at the end was a hell of a bump, but yeah, Wall looks super stupid climbing the ladder. Um, but yeah, it just yeah, I can't say anything else. It was just it was pretty mind blowing how stupid a lot of this was.
Like frustratingly bad. Um, just so bad.
I do love that Slick got absolutely destroyed after the match.
That was probably your favorite part of the pay-per-view.
It might have been, honestly. It was great.
I legit, when I saw that, I was like, Logan's gonna be happy. As I'm fucking seething, typing my notes, wondering why I do this to myself. So then we go, we see a replay which just happened. Then we go back outside. And we see the cops like part like the Red Sea, and a car pulls up. It's Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He pulls up and says someone is going to get their ass beat tonight. Hogan, then Madden, I don't know if you caught this, says that Hogan is sweating like a nitro girl waiting for a pregnancy test to come back. Scott Hudson just says yikes.
I'm surprised he's just going to go, wow, I can't believe you said that, Mark. Anyway, like, we're going to move on.
I was like, God damn. So we see Tank Abbott walking to the ring. Scott is out next with his freaks. Match 6, Tank Abbott versus Scott Steiner Asylum match. Match starts. The Asylum match has not, the Asylum cage has not came down. My note here says, where the fuck is the Asylum cage? Scott starts whipping Tank's asses with punches and a suplex. Penzer says he just got told that since the Asylum is Scott Steiner's match, he's had 2 matches in it, but okay. Rick Steiner has been added for a 2-on-1 handicap match. My note here is it still an Asylum match? Scott then hits the belly to belly and punches Tank. Rick comes down, starts beating down Scott. The Asylum finally starts coming down. We get Goldberg chants. They're just beating down Scott, and they throw him into the cage. They kick him. They keep throwing him into the cage. Rick elbows Scott in the dick, which I thought was funny. Tank's just screaming, shut up, like a lunatic to everyone at ringside and the freaks. Rick holds up Scott, and Tank takes off his gloves, and he puts a chain around his hand. Rick tells him no and says, put the chain away. Tank says he will, but he keeps it in his hand and goes to hit Scott, but Rick steps in the way. Just a horrible look for all this, and there's a clear image where Tank doesn't even hit Rick. Rick still takes a bump. It just looks real amateurish. Just looks bad. Tank then starts beating on Rick. You think he would have knocked his ass out with that. Scott hits Tank in the nuts. Scott picks up the chain and starts beating Tank with it. Scott then puts Tank in the Steiner recliner, and he taps in 4 seconds. Didn't even get his dick out of his pants. Logan already came. Tony says Scott retained the U.S. title. I said, my God, we were close to having Tank as U.S. champion. Just fucking...
Or Rick Steiner. God.
Yeah, I would have been all right with Rick Steiner. But yeah, this is just such a dumb match. Like, they barely promoted, like, Scott versus Tank at all, because Tank got fed to Goldberg on Nitro, and Scott's been whooping New Blood's ass, and they had, like, the thing on Thunder, but, like... And the Asylum didn't even come down. This was like a 3.5-minute match. Asylum didn't come down to like minute 2.
Mm-hmm. Just yeah, where the hell was Rick before the match? Because Tank comes out alone, and Scott absolutely beats Tank's ass for the first few minutes.
Do you remember when this guy was supposed to be like a fucking threat, and like he's just getting his shit pushed in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Just nuts. How quickly he's kind of just completely downturned. But yeah, like I said, Scott just beats the crap out of Tank before Rick even shows up, which makes me wonder, why did Tank and Rick not come out together? But whatever. The idea of this cage is absolutely insane. It's so small, crazy to think that 3 massive human beings like these, well, Rick and Scott are pretty massive. Tank's kind of a small guy in the grand scheme of things. But you know, Tank tries to use the chain multiple times on Scott, and Rick seems to want to try to stop him, and he eventually gets rocked with it anyways. And then, yeah, like you said, Scott low blows him, and he even hits him with the chain, and then goes for the recliner and gets the submission. So Tank taps out like a little bitch pretty quickly. But yeah, just an absurd match. This cage, I hope, is never used again. It's absurd. It's so small. I can't imagine having to work without the ropes and without much area to move around with three guys in there. So, like I said, hopefully this is a concept that's maybe dead and buried after this one.
I just love how they said it's his match. He's had 2 matches in it, and one was against Rick.
Yeah,
the other was against Shane Douglas. Like, what are we doing? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I just want to fucking beat Vince Russo in a silent cage. So Scott and the Hoochies leave. Tony says there's no sign of the big announcement. We're still fucking hyping that for some reason. Limo pulls up, and it's Ric Flair and his family, his whole family. Someone named Ashley Flair. I don't think we'll ever see her again.
And Megan.
And Megan. How could I forget Megan? That was definitely named because of his list. Fuck that up, right?
Not 100%.
Yeah. We see the Goldberg monster truck in the fucking background. For some reason, that's still a goddamn character. We get a promo video for Billy Kidman versus Hulk Hogan. Mean Gene's with Hollywood. Mean Gene says this may be the final time we see you in wrestling. Hollywood says maybe not. Mean Gene says we are etched in stone and can stay around forever. Hollywood says tonight when he gets in the ring with the flea market champ, Billy Kidman is going to get ugly. Hollywood says blood is thicker than new blood when talking about the special ref. And he says Goldberg back in the house. Big Sexy is taking over. And Hollywood Hulk Hogan is the good, the bad, and the ugly. New Blood's music hits, and out comes Kidman and Horace. Kidman gets the HBK pyro like 1995 when it's still in the ring. Hollywood's Hulk Hogan's music hits, and Madden says Hollywood will never be as cool as Hall or Nash. So Madden fired on all cylinders tonight. So we're in match 7, Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus Kidman with Horace as a special guest ref. Career versus world title shot. Kidman's not getting in the ring. Hogan tears off his shirt. Kidman finally gets in the ring when Hogan takes a step back. The match starts and they circle each other. They start stalling. We get a collar and elbow tie-up, and Hulk Hogan pushes Kidman twice. Hogan blocks a punch and hits Kidman with 3 punches and hits a running punch and knocks Kidman out of the ring. Kidman's crawling on his hands and his feet. Hollywood throws Kidman back in the ring, and Kidman's on his knees begging off. Hogan kicks Kidman and punches him around the ring again. Hogan hits a big boot and taunts Kidman. Kidman rolls out of the ring, and Hollywood slams Kidman to the guardrail. Hollywood hits Kidman with a throat chop, and he throws Kidman into the guardrail again. Hollywood's just beating Kidman's ass here, guys. Hollywood throws Kidman in the back of the ring. He chokes Kidman, but Horace breaks it up. Hollywood starts choking him again, but Horace counts to 5, but Hollywood stops at 4. Kidman's able to eye-rake Hollywood and starts punching and kicking him. Kidman chokes Hollywood, but Horace stops the choke at 4. Hollywood kicks Kidman in the nuts and does the cup to the ear, and the crowd goes loud. He starts whipping Kidman with the belt. Horace tells him to stop, but he whips him again. This is a squash so far. Kidman rolls out of the ring, and Hogan beats Kidman around the ring, punching him, and he picks up a chair. But Kidman drop kicks the chair into Hogan, and it actually fucking hits a fan, which I'm sure they about shit their bricks again over that. Kidman starts beating Hogan with the chair. Kidman throws Hollywood into the ring and pins him. He gets a 2 count. Kidman complains about the count, but Hollywood rolls out of the ring and pulls Kidman out of the ring and slams him to the guardrail and throws him into the guardrail. Hogan beats Kidman with a chair. He throws Kidman in the ring. And Hollywood tries to slam Kidman, but Kidman reverses it and DDTs Hogan on the chair. This gets a 2. Kidman bitches about the count. Kidman stomps Hollywood and hits a splash on him. This gets a 2. He bitches the horse again. Kidman slams Hollywood's head into the turnbuckle and starts punching around the ring, but then Hogan hulks up. He does all the hulk up shit, and he gets 10 punches in the corner, hits a running clothesline. Kidman gets out of the ring, and Hollywood tries to run Kidman into the post, but he wiggles out, and he sends Hollywood into the post shoulder first. Kidman ran to Hogan and on the outside, and Hollywood just fucking hip tosses Kidman to the announce table. Tori comes out as Hollywood is just beating Kidman's ass. He throws Kidman in the ring. Tori gets on the apron and hands Hollywood brass knucks. Hollywood takes them, and then Kidman hits a running knee to the back of Hogan that knocks Tori off the apron. She's holding her ankle. Horace gets out of the ring and checks on Tori. Kidman hits Hogan with the brass knucks. When he gets back in the ring, this gets a 2 count. Kidman says the count was slow. Kidman pounds on Hollywood and stomps him. Kidman was choking, and Horace pulled Kidman off. Kidman then hits Horace with the brass knucks. Tori gets in the ring and hits Kidman in the nuts, and then Hollywood hits Kidman with the brass knucks, and Horace counts 3. I just said fuck Hulk Hogan. Hollywood says we're going to the Bash of the Beach for the world title. Nothing big will happen there. Horace holds up Hulk Hogan's hand and they embrace. This was like a wrestling challenge fucking squash, Logan.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Like they were actively like calling Billy Kidman a flea market champion. Like this is just fucking absurd.
Not running away from that accusation, which is
just straight up squash.
Damning. I don't have many notes for this match. I mostly just poor Kidman. I just feel so bad for him. He must have been a real shitbag backstage or something, and had the ire of either Russo or Bischoff, and they just really wanted to put the screws to the poor guy, or Hogan just really wanted to just embarrass somebody, and he picked Kidman to do it for some reason. So I know the whole thing lately has been that Horace and Kidman have kind of been not on the same page and all that thing, all that kind of stuff. But I kind of thought they were kind of in the same, not on the same page together per se, but on the same like New Blood page, that like they were going to work together to make sure that Hogan was gone and all that kind of stuff.
Made no sense. Made no sense, Logan.
And I feel like eventually, like they obviously, Horace raises his hand and all that at the end of the match, so you're implying that he's turning face and joining back with Hulk Hogan, and they even kind of say that on commentary and stuff afterwards. But it feels like he calls the match like right down the middle. If you were trying to get rid of him, count quick, even do like a screw job finish if you're going to do something like that. If it just makes the New Blood look super stupid, because like I don't think at the beginning of the match Horace is trying to like go back to Hogan's side. I think he's just trying to play it down the middle for some stupid reason. But the booking of it just didn't make any sense. He should have counted fast. I mean, obviously Hogan can still kick out and stuff like that, but should have counted fast and all that kind of stuff. Give Kidman any kind of, advantage or anything. But yeah, just absolutely another embarrassing showing for Kidman. Again, I feel bad for him. But I guess he had the ire of somebody backstage that didn't like him. So who knows? But hopefully this is over. Hopefully Kidman moves on to something else, and maybe he can have some good matches with somebody else down the line. But his main event push is dead and gone.
Yeah, like just horrible. Just fucking horrible. Like this should be talked about more, of how to bury a fucking opponent. Like, yeah. So, we go backstage and Eric's on the phone. He says the Hogans are like cockroaches. The cop comes by and asks him if everything is okay. Eric said, "Have you been watching the show?" "No." The Goldberg monster truck is out there, and the cop says everything is under control. We get a Bash at the Beach promo. Tony says this was a swerve, bro, by the Hogan family. Next match is father versus son. If David wins, Flair has to retire. We get a David versus Rick promo video. Pamela tells David good luck tonight because he'll need it. Russo says this is a fairy tale. Russo says 21 years of torture is coming out. We get Mean Gene with Ric Flair. Gene says Russo's the one who poisoned the well and turned David against Rick. Rick says David and Russo, I'm a style and profile tonight in Baltimore. And then Flair says go Hulkster go for some reason. Mean Gene says let's make it 2 for 2. Ric Flair's family comes down the aisle. We see all these people. David Flair is out with Vince Russo. Rick is out next, and Russo threatens Flair with a bat, which I thought was funny. And this is match 8, Ric Flair versus David Flair. If David wins, Eric has to retire. They circle each other, and Rick does this Flair strut. We get a collar and elbow tie-up. David gets a headlock, and Rick's able to get out easily and then knocks him down. Rick gets a headlock, then puts him in a hammerlock, and then slaps him. We get another collar and elbow tie-up to get to the ropes, and then breaks up the collar and elbow. David gets forearms, and he chops Rick. David sends Rick to the corner, and Rick can't do all the Flair flop. Can't get all of it there. David attacks Rick on the outside. David sends Rick into the guardrail, which I feel like people went to the guardrail 9 out of 10 matches tonight. Throws him back in the ring. David hits a suplex and sends Rick into the ropes and puts him in a sleeper hold. Rick gets out and hits a back body drop. Rick rips open David's shirt and starts chopping him. He's chopping the ever-loving shit out of him. And then hits him so hard he takes a bump. Madden says this is child abuse. Rick sends David to the ropes and chops him again. Rick punches David in the corner and then chops him once again. They go outside and Rick chops David near the announce table and sends him back to the ring. When they get back in the ring, David clotheslines Rick over the top rope. David distracts the ref, and Vince attacks Rick with the bat and then puts cuffs on Rick and then throws it back in the ring. David stomps Rick and starts chopping him. David puts Rick in the figure 4, and David uses Vince for extra leverage. This allows David to get a 2 count. David gets another 2 count as he's using the ropes and Vince for leverage. Rick rolls out of the figure 4, and David breaks the hold. David mounts Rick and starts pounding on him with punches. The ref has to pull David off. While this is happening, Vince attacks Rick, and Reed comes and Vince pushes him off and pushes him down, but Reed is able to hit Vince in the nuts. He takes the handcuff keys, but when he's trying to untie his dad, David attacks Reed, and the ref is Charles Robinson, so he starts trying to unlock the handcuffs, and he does. Rick starts chopping the ever-living shit out of David. And then we see that Ashley had attacked Vince on the floor and put the handcuffs on him. Rick hits a back body drop on David. Rick kicks David in the nuts. David almost fucks up a Flair flop of his own, but someone screams out loud when this happens, "You suck, David." I think it might have been Logan Crossland or Scott Shufflet, either or. Rick hits a stalling suplex. Rick does a strut. David begs off, and he actually gets an eye rake to Rick. David goes up top, but Rick throws him off, which I thought was a nice role reversal because it's usually Rick being thrown off. Rick hits a knee drop. Rick says, "Reed, this is for you," and pounds on David and works over at David's legs. Rick puts David in the figure 4, and David taps pretty quickly. Rick wins. Russo's in the ring, and Rick starts chopping the shit out of Russo. Rick's family celebrates. David pulls Vince out of the ring. Russo has a mic and says, "Flair, you piece of shit." He calls all of Flair's kids a bunch of bitches and says Flair has chopped Russo for the last time. Reed and Flair tell him to suck it. Russo says tomorrow he will retire Flair's cripple ass. Oh, Logan, thank God this is over. That was David Flair real bad. He might be the worst wrestler we've ever seen.
Yeah, he's easily the worst wrestler I think I've ever seen. That's like supposed to be a wrestler on weekly television. Because I've seen some of the girls that we've seen wrestle on these shows that are probably a little worse, but they're not trained wrestlers and they don't have a ton of matches. They just have a few here and there, maybe 1 or 2, throughout their whole run or anything like that. We've seen Daphne have a few matches, and she's obviously not super trained or anything like that. But David is horrible, and it's just amazing that you come from the loins of one of the greatest wrestlers of all time,
from his father's nuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and he is just horrendous. He has none of it comes naturally. It's just it's incredible. It's really stunning in the grand scheme of things. Reed getting ragdolled by Russo and David at different points seems illegal. I feel like somebody should go to jail for a minor getting
this
abused.
Is legit child abuse.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like somebody should be jailed for how much he gets pushed around in this match. Like you said, they throw the cuffs on Russo to kind of put him in a vulnerable position where he can get his ass kicked after the match. We had 2 retirement steps. Obviously, Rick would have retired if he lost here. Hogan would have retired if he lost earlier. And they both end up being pretty virtual squashes on a pay-per-view, which is insane. I mean, obviously they make this somewhat competitive because Russo gets involved and David cheats and all that kind of stuff. But virtually, when Rick's capable and able, he's on offense and he's kicking David's ass when he's not getting kind of interfered with. But yeah, Rick gets the one big chop in on Russo after the match. Would have liked to have seen him kick his ass a little further, but we apparently have a match coming on Monday, so we'll see what Russo can pull out that night, because obviously he really just wants to see Ric Flair retired and gone. So we'll see what chicanery Russo can pull out that night.
Yeah, like holy shit. I just want this feud to end, and it looks like it's not, Logan.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Sadly enough.
Yeah, it's fucking killing me. So yeah. Speaking of feuds that I wish would end, we get a Vamp and Sting hype video. Vamp.
Speaking of reasons I want to kill myself.
Yeah, this is one of them. Vampiro comes out first. He comes out with the torch and he leaves it on the on the aisleway of the ramp. Tony says the major surprise still hasn't happened. I don't know, Tony. I spent $30 for this shit. Every match has been a goddamn surprise, and it's been a shit surprise. We said we see a fire department. Madden says get some new blood respect and torch this guy. Sting is out next, and the torch starts rising in the air when you see that Sting is on Turner Vision. Sting gets on the mic and says, "Are you afraid of heights? Because I'm not. You want to torch me? You got to get up here, boy." Madden says you can tell that's not Hogan's torch because he never would have passed it. A+ line. Just amazing line, Logan. Match 9, Sting versus Vampiro in a Human Torch match. Vamp tells the ref he doesn't want to go up there. Vamp is complaining and refusing to go. Sting starts rappelling down Nitro Vision. Sting yells and slides in the ring. Vamp attacks Sting and then sends him to the ropes and hits a spin kick. Vamp asks Sting if he's out of his mind and punches him. Sting reverses an Irish whip, hits a press slam, and then 2 clotheslines, and then his face buster. Sting kicks Vampiro into the turnbuckle and for the Stinger splash, but eats a boot. Vamp ran at Sting, but Sting drops Vamp headfirst onto the turnbuckle. Sting goes for another Stinger splash, but misses. Vamp then gets gasoline and pours it all on Sting, and Sting stumbles up the aisleway. Vamp sends Sting into the guardrail. Vamp kicks Sting and punches Sting in the aisleway. Sting hits Vamp in the nuts and throws Vamp into the arena setup like the grater and shit. Vamp starts climbing the Turner Vision and Sting follows him. Vamp hits Sting and kicks him off. Sting took like a 5 to 7 foot drop onto like some pads. Vamp keeps climbing. Sting gets up and starts climbing himself. They make their way up to Turner Vision. The lights start blinking like it's Sting's fucking entrance, and it's going in and out. I thought I was having a goddamn stroke, guys. Vamp puts Sting near the flame. Both men go down. We see Sting hitting Vamp and slamming him as the lights are fucking flickering. They trade punches and Sting goes down. Both are fighting. You can't see shit. Vamp grabs the torch, but Sting fights back. Vamp DDT Sting. And then Vamp grabs the torch and lights Sting on fire. Sting gets to the side of the Turner Vision and he fucking does a swan dive, basically. Vamp wins. They put Sting out and have Scott trying to act like Sting is dead. They keep using a fire extinguisher on Sting. They're saying to cool him off and put a towel on him. The announce desk says, we go back to the announce desk and they're all shocked. And Scott says, we just saw Steve Borden kill himself. Scott says, this isn't wrestling anymore. I just have a note that says, fuck Vince Russo. And we see what just happened. This was literally a year after a man lost his life in wrestling. And these motherfuckers are doing this shit. Spoiler alert.
Again.
They used a stuntman for this. That's why you didn't see it. That's why I had it up top. It's just asinine. This is the worst match on the card. Spoiler alert. And I know Sean would be like, well, it's because there's Sting in it. No. The fucking lights flickering and shit was horrible. Yeah. Them acting like he just fucking died. Like, oh, Steve Borden is dead. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we've two pay-per-views in a row. We've basically killed someone, or they act like someone has been killed. there are at the end of these shows and matches and stuff like that. Um, I love that Sting at the beginning of this says if Vamp wants to fight him, he'll have to come to him because he was on like the top of the entranceway. And then he just ends up going down to the ring and goes straight to wherever Vampiro is. So he immediately bails on the idea that he wants him to come to him for whatever reason. I understand the battling atop the entranceway is to set up the spot and to set up the stuntman, to set up all the stuff that happens at the end. But the flickering lights and all that just make most of this match unwatchable.
And they're on top of the fucking Turner Vision.
Yeah.
You can't see shit.
You can't see anything. The lights are completely flickering. It's just like constant flickering and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, like I said, it's basically unwatchable for the most part of the whole thing. So, absolutely absurd spot there at the end. But I said a new blood Cuck finally won. So, we didn't see Kidman win, and obviously most of the new blood has taken the L's tonight, other than Awesome, pretty much. So we do finally see Vampiro maybe get one over on Sting. So, but yeah, bad, mostly because it was unwatchable, and it was wrestled mostly atop the Turner Vision, like you said. So, yeah, just not good, not well thought out either.
Yeah, just horrible. God, what are we doing?
You could have built a platform or something that they could have wrestled on, or something,
or just not have a fucking Human Torch match.
Yeah, that's true. Or not have strobe lights, just have a constant light going on, or something like that.
They could have had a fucking casket match.
They wrestled in a damn lightning storm apparently atop the arena. So
they really did. Just so dumb. So we see what just happened, and then Pamela's with Eric. And Pamela asks Eric where the surprise is. Eric says there's no big surprise. All right, whatever.
There you go. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier. He basically says it's off. So,
but then it is whatever. They brought Michael Buffer out for this main event. Kevin Nash is out first. Jeff Jarrett comes out with title and a guitar. Kat's music hits for some reason. Kat has a mic and says, "May I please have your attention, please." Someone says he's really saying please a lot. I don't know why he said it like that, but I needed to have it verbatim. They boo him and he says, "Shut the hell up." Kat says, "Since this is a big show, we got to have some celebrity guests tonight." And out comes the Filthy Animals. K-Dog is the bell ringer. The timekeeper is Rey Mysterio. Disco is the special belt keeper. Madden says this is the closest he'll ever get to the belt. The special ring announcer is Hoovy, and the special ring announcer and ring enforcer and ref is the Cat. So match 10, Jeff Jarrett versus Kevin Nash in the World Heavyweight Championship. Nash takes the belt and puts it around his waist. The match starts. We get a collar and elbow tie-up, and Nash pushes Jeff to the corner. They do it again, and Nash pushes him down. Another collar and elbow tie-up, and Nash pushes him again. The Cat and Filthy Animals distract Nash, and Jeff attacks Nash and punches him. Jeff punches Nash in the corner. Nash is knocked down in the corner. Jeff picks up Nash and punches him. Nash is able to get his knee to Jeff and then throws Jeff around the ring. Nash gets Jeff with more knees in the corner and then an elbow in the corner. We get a Goldberg chant, and everyone just fucking stops what they're doing. I thought he was coming out now, Logan. I was like, what the hell's going on? Nash clotheslines Jeff out of the ring. Nash tried to run Jeff into the ring post, but Jeff jumped out of the way, and he threw Nash to the ring post. Jeff beats Nash, but Nash reversed an Irish whip, and he sends Jeff into the guardrail and then dropped Jeff throat first on the announce table. And then, as Logan Crossland forever ruined for me, it would not be a Jeff Jarrett match if they don't battle into the crowd. They battle into the crowd. Nash beats Jeff around the arena. Nash picks up a chair and hits Jeff, then throws Jeff over the guardrail. And when Nash is stepping over the guardrail, Ray attacks Nash's knee with a chair. The ref yells at Ray. Conan and Hoovy throw Nash in the ring. Jeff attacks Nash with Nash's knee with the chair until the ref takes it from him. Jeff starts working over the leg for a couple of minutes. Cat is yelling at Nash, and Nash just reaches over and gives Cat the finger. Jeff tries for the figure four, but Nash pushes him off. Jeff goes back to attacking the leg. He puts Nash in a half crab, and Nash looks dead. I said the half crab should be called the Baltimore crab as this was happening, so I was obviously having fun in this match, guys. Jeff says he's the chosen one. Jeff attacks the leg again and again. He puts Nash in the figure four. When this happens, you hear Nash scream, "Oh, fuck." Do it for me, Logan.
Ah, fuck.
Thank you. Jeff gets a 2 count. Nash tries to turn with a figure four, but can't because his leg's hurting too much, despite all the years I've watched.
My Nash would more be like, oh, fuck.
that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Your Nash is Stone Nash.
My Nash is like completely either whined out of his mind or completely Stone Nash, yes.
Oh, have you ever seen the sorry, we're all the way off topic, the shoot interview he does with Six Pac where they're drunk off their asses?
I don't think so.
Drinking wine.
I've probably seen like highlights
Holy
from it.
Fuck. That's when they talk about like Sean trying to kill himself. He's like, and like he saved me. And Nash was the only one that talked to me. And they're like crying during it and shit. It's fucking insane. That's videos, crazy. Shoot interviews, bring them back. But
I didn't mean to sideline you. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Trust me, the way this match and how Jeff Jarrett literally works Nash's legs for minutes, and I literally had to say that in there, and he's still working the leg. Ridiculous. Nash finally gets the rope. Jeff doesn't break the figure four until the ref pulls him off. Nash is starting to get up, but Conan hits Nash with a ring belt. This gets 2. Nash dodges punches from Jeff and hits a sidewalk slam, and that gets 2 for Nash. Nash punches Hoovy, who had jumped on the ropes, and then Nash crotches Ray, who was trying to dive off the top rope. Nash dodges a belt shot from Jeff and hits Jeff with the belt. Nash pins Jeff, but Disco attacks the ref. Nash goes after Disco on the outside. Hoovy hits Nash with the chair, and they roll Nash back in the ring. Both men are down in the ring. Cat is being the ref. Cat starts doing a double count, but Jeff rolls over, puts an arm on Nash, and but Nash kicks out at 2. Nash gets up, but Disco jumps on Kevin. Kevin hits, spins Disco around, hits a sidewalk suplex, which I liked. Ray rushes at Nash, eats a big boot. Nash takes down K-Dog and Hoovy. Jeff Jarrett is able to hit a stroke and gets another 2. Jeff's gets the guitar and goes off the middle rope to hit with the ultimate fucking guitar smash, but Nash catches him, hits a choke slam. The Cat starts to count, but he stops after 2. He acts like he got something in his eye. Nash power bombs the Cat. Nash hits Jeff Jarrett with a big boot and pulls down the straps. Nash hits the power bomb, and Charles Robinson runs in the ring to do the count, but Rick Steiner pulls off the ref and attacks Kevin Nash. Nash fights back, and then for some reason we see Tank attacking Scott, who I guess came down to help Nash, but then they brawl away, and then the Filthy Animals and Rick beat down Kevin Nash. We hear Goldberg's monster truck, and the monster truck comes out. Then Goldberg shows up. His music hits, and he comes down. Everyone bails but Jeff and Nash. Goldberg looks like he's about to spear Jeff, but it's a swerve, bro.
Swerve.
And Goldberg spears Nash. Goldberg screams, cover him at Jeff. Jeff looks confused. Goldberg picks up the ref, and the ref counts 3. And then we see that Russo and Bischoff come out of the Goldberg monster truck. It's pretty crazy that before we have been getting Goldberg chants, but now we're getting Goldberg sucks chants. And as the show ends, Goldberg hugs Russo and Bischoff. So that was the big surprise, gang. That was changed sports entertainment. Was Goldberg turning heel. This match, for some reason, went 17 fucking minutes, and I really couldn't tell you why. Because like 7 minutes was them working Nash's leg, and Nash takes on like 6 people at the end here.
Yeah.
I don't know why Rick Steiner's out again. They could have had literally any other member of the New Blood. But
well, hell, if he may not even be New Blood at this point because he got turned on by his partner. So who knows?
Yeah, so I don't know. But him and Tank are working together at the end. But just so dumb. I will say I enjoyed the first part of the show, literally until the Stasiak and Booker match, which went too long. But the second half of the show is such a slog with all these main event people. Yeah.
Yes, definitely a tale of two halves for sure. But yeah, I don't know why the filthy animals randomly got thrown into all this either. Like they got randomly injected into this main event for some reason. I mean, obviously it's just to kind of goof and give them all special jobs or whatever. I do love Nash. That has been made abundantly clear over the years through multiple pods. He's very entertaining to me. He's not always the best wrestler, but he does have good matches along the way. But I love him, and I have not hated Jarrett throughout this pod to this point per se. He has had a couple of stinkers that I feel like I didn't enjoy, but this match getting as much time as it did is and
Travesty.
was a huge mistake. Absolutely huge mistake. Should have been given to maybe some other earlier matches. But yeah, this being as long as it was is absolutely absurd. I don't think anybody in the New Blood knows how to count fast and help their partner stablemate win easier. Because when the cat counts, he just counts regularly for some stupid reason. Like count quickly, do a quick count, like in the match. Like you could easily in the match, and they just don't. So apparently, nobody in the New Blood knows how to do a fast count. I love seeing the cat get jackknifed, so I was a big fan of that. And yeah, just the constant chaos. Everybody comes out, and takes on Nash. Nash tries to, Scott Steiner tries to get some help for him, but obviously it's not enough because there's so many of the New Blood guys. If they wanted to like kind of delay the swerve, like Goldberg comes out and everybody just bails out of the ring. They don't like attack him, or he doesn't attack anybody else until he spears Nash. So it's kind of, if you wanted to kind of like get the pop and then have the delay the heel turn a little bit, he could have cleared the ring by attacking him and not just like scaring him away or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, you could have seen this coming a mile away. Just based on how much of the show is based around, oh, is Goldberg going to show up? Is Goldberg going to show up? Blah, blah, blah. And, obviously Bischoff's been promising this surprise. And he seemed to act like it was off before this match happened. So it was kind of obviously going to be something crazy that happened in this match. So I can't say I'm too excited about a Goldberg heel turn because he's one of the few faces that gets a pretty loud reaction. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I don't particularly think it lasts very long, if I remember correctly. So we'll see what happens.
I think everything really goes to shit next month, and then it's full Russo, and everything really goes off the rails, Logan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, he's your biggest star, and you turn him heel. Just dumb.
Yeah.
Just dumb.
He's kind of one of those guys that just should never be heel.
Like Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah. Like, not that he's not probably a dickhead backstage and not unliked by his coworkers and stuff like that, but like, he just doesn't have the promo skills or like I don't know. He's just a killer ass kicker, and he shouldn't be a bad guy.
Yeah, he really shouldn't. Interested to see where it goes because I watched On and Off during the summer, mostly off, but yeah, we'll see what happens, Logan. But let's roll through. Surprisingly, no world title changes, no title changes at all.
Yeah, that's kind of insane for sure.
Yeah, so our champs leading out a Great American Bash. World champ is Jeff Jarrett. U.S. champ Scott Steiner. Tag champs Sean Stasiak and Chuck Palumbo. Cruiserweight champ Lieutenant Loco. Hardcore Mama Luke's. For most absurd, I put Sting versus Vampiro.
Yeah, that was for sure.
What was?
There was a lot of absurd stuff, but that probably was good.
Yeah. What was good? I said New Blood looking good, sans Kidman, which was the same thing as last episode. What was bad? Kidman burial and Goldberg heel turn.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the Kidman part.
So we had 10 matches tonight, guys. One clean finish, which was Mama Luke's versus Chronic. 9 clean or 9 finishes, 0 pole matches, 5 pole matches overall, 7 gimmick matches. We're up to 167 gimmick matches, 0 guitar shots. A little bum with that. So we're still stuck at 46. He hasn't passed us yet. 29 different things happen tonight. We're still stuck at 60 title changes. Total, we've only done 50 episodes, so they did catch up here. And Logan, for our 50th episode, are we smarter than Vince Russo's WCW? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, he was trending in a good direction for the first half of the show, but the back half definitely did not work out in his favor. Definitely went off the rails for him. So I would say, in the grand scheme of things, yes, because he does not know how to book main event matches.
He does not know how to do that, like he said, buddy. So, yeah, that brings us into another episode of Are You Smarter Than Vince Russo's WCW? Thank you for sticking here for 50. I think we ran the numbers. I think we have like mid 40s left. So hopefully you can stick towards the end with that. Hopefully me and Logan can stick towards the end of that. But as always, I'm Scott Shiflett. He's the backbone of the backbone, Logan Crossland. We'll see you in 2 weeks for Post-Great American Bash. Fun.
We hope.